Welcome to the Intuitive Therapist Podcast with Janis Cohen, therapist, clairvoyant, empath, and medium. Listen in as she takes a no-nonsense deep dive into real human struggles and how to resolve them. Janis will share channeled information from her spirit guide team, as well as the angels and archangels, to help you master your emotional, physical, financial, and spiritual destiny. And now, Janis R. Cohen. Hey y'all, this is Janis Cohen, the Intuitive Therapist, here on the Intuitive Therapist Podcast. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are into another week of some good stuff. One of the things I do is I get my content from conversations I have with people, things I read, things I think about, things that are going on in my life. And recently, I have really been talking with people about their emotional baggage. We all carry it, and some of it seems almost impossible to let go. And I struggle with this much in my life, trying to let go of things that have happened. And I figured out a way how actually to do that. And I'm going to talk about that with you today. But sometimes this emotional baggage that we have from family members, from relationships, from losses or grief, disappointments, jobs, or things that we had really put our hopes into, not turning out the way we wanted them to turn out. It's very hard to really unpack that bag or those bags that you carry and get clean with yourself. And so it feels like when we carry this baggage around, it's almost like a justification for why we don't change, or take risks or forgive ourselves and others. And I wanted to talk with you a little bit today about how beautiful your baggage actually is, what's inside. Okay. One of the reasons why it's called baggage is because once we unpack it, we can begin to see the truth of the pain that we carry. It's called baggage because we got all sorts of stuff shoved in a bag, and then of course, we're carrying it around, but we open it up and, oh my gosh, look at all this stuff. We can learn from this stuff. And once we do that, once we stop resenting the hell out of the things that we are choosing to carry around, our pain, for what it is, then we can understand it. And like I said, use it to better our lives and then let it go. If that was all I said today about it, that would be enough. This is really much the long and short of it, is that our baggage is not meant to just carry. It's not meant to really be baggage at all. We are hopefully, and I really do believe this, meant to walk lightly on this earth. We are burdened with tests and trials and challenges and pain, but for as long as we allow all those things to last, if we use our life, then we don't have anything else to carry with us. But for most listeners and most people, just saying that won't be enough. So I'm going to go a little deeper and help y'all understand more so that you can find it easier to let go. And I'm going to teach you kind of ways to do that, ways to think about that. So recently I was talking with a client who's become quite introspective and insightful about her life. And she remarked with wonder about why do some people not look at their life experiences with as much meaning as she does? And I told her that unless and until a person is sick and tired of feeling that particular way about something, especially a negative way, they're just going to choose to feel badly. So, And that's really what most people do. They just feel and feel and feel and feel, and they block the wisdom in what they feel. So if you were to open up the baggage you carry, and some of y'all are going, oh, hell no, I'm not doing that. No. I already know what's in there. I know what happened to me. I don't want to open it up. It's like opening up a can of worms. I don't want to visit that shit. I don't want to deal with the trauma. I don't want to deal with all the memories that I have buried deep down inside. I say, wait a minute. That's not what I'm asking you to do. I'm not asking you to re-experience the shit you've been through. All I'm asking you to do is take a look, okay? And you can shut it anytime. And if you were to simply take a look, you would actually see the kind of opportunities that are there to use to be a better person. So you begin to travel lighter. So here are a couple of reasons why I believe people hold on to emotional baggage. One, they use it to stay stuck, right? It's a great excuse. Look, well, I've been through all this shit. That's enough for me. I don't need to change anything in my life. I've done enough just being involved in that stuff. I don't need to do anything differently. Second is they use it to blame others for their pain, right? Well, you know what? If so-and-so hadn't done this, if I hadn't had the mother or father in the way that I did who didn't give me what I needed, if I hadn't been fired from that job, if all of my relationships hadn't been betrayal relationships, you know what? If I'd be in a very, very different place. So in other words, you blame everything outside of yourself instead of shifting it into, you know what? I'm a common denominator in all of this. How can I use all of this to better my life? The third is they use it as justification for self-protection against future anticipated emotional pain, right? So let's say that you have had some pretty bad relationships. We're just going to kind of focus on relationships right now because that's where a lot of baggage comes from, right? So you've had some crappy relationships. I know many, many people who've been in long-term relationships, marriages, and they get divorced, and they're like, hell no, I'm not getting married again. I'm not going through that shit again. Then maybe they meet a new person that's different, that's unusual, and they're like, oh, wow, this person's kind of changed my life. Marriage, I can redefine what I believe about marriage. Or some people will say, you know what? I don't need a piece of paper. In other words, they diminish the value of marriage. They once had a value of marriage, but because they chose their partner, listen to me, they chose their partner, they chose to stay, they chose to be who they were in that relationship, that they have such self-loathing and contempt for themselves that they write off marriage as if marriage in and of itself is the problem. Marriage is not. It's a value. It's not a problem. The people you choose are problems. The relationships you have are problems. The way you respond to them are problem. So if you put all of that stuff under the umbrella of marriage or engagement or family, being a father, if you're, you've had a very troubled relationship with your father, or you are a woman, you have a very troubled relationship with your mother, you might say to yourself, I'm terrified. What if I make the same mistakes as my mother did? So therefore, because I can anticipate the pain, I'm not going to do that again. I'm not even going to have a child. I'm not even going to get married again. That'll keep me safe. Number 4, they use it as a crutch to stay victimized. Okay? We carry our baggage around. And guess what we do? We tell our story, right, y'all? And we're like, okay, here, look at this. Let me open this up. And have this monster suitcase, and you flip it on its side, and you unclick or you unzip, and you open it and say, see, look at all this stuff I've experienced. See? That's why I feel the way I do. And I know somebody else is going to hurt me again too. So that's why I carry it around. I need you to know how hurt I've been. So they keep themselves stuck in that victim story. It wasn't until I learned from my own therapist, I think probably 11 years ago, 12 years ago, that really, in all honesty, we're to thank the people in our lives and the pain that we've been through, the people who have hurt us especially, because they are our biggest teachers. I didn't know that before this woman taught me that. All I just knew is that I was in this cesspool of feeling like shit, and I'd had a number of experiences in my life over time that really I felt like I was beaten up. And I was angry. And the minute she said that, I was like, what on earth are you talking about? How am I supposed to thank these horrible people for doing what they've done, and I'm left carrying the baggage of pain? She's like, Janice, you can set that baggage down anytime you want. What you do with it is up to you, because it's all about what you do with it. I struggled with that, like I said, for a long time before I could embrace that concept fully. And I guarantee you, those of you who haven't yet learned this will struggle with that too. You're like, screw all those people who hurt me. I'm not thanking them. Again, you're in one of those four categories that I just told you about. Figure out which one, and then go back and listen to this. Think about your life. Think about how much better off you'd be if you'd let that bag down. Most people hold on to anger and contempt, and they have anger and contempt for others who've hurt them. And the only thing that does is stunt their growth, a person who holds on to it, and limit how happy and prosperous they can be. The only person that is harmed when you give other people the power to continue to hurt you after they have done it once is you. So what you're carrying around in that worn out bag that's slung over your shoulder, or that suitcase that you're carrying, are all the lessons that you need to learn to grow and to be happy. It's not like this whole layout of pain and that's it. I get that you might disagree with me, and you know what? That's fine. I really honor that, and I'm okay with that because I've been there. I'm beyond where you're at. If you don't understand this concept that I'm talking about learning from your pain and letting it go. But I actually do know what I'm talking about, y'all. If you were to look at just one experience you had that caused you great pain, and you ask yourself questions like, how did that impact me? How am I different because of this experience? Who would I be had I not had these experiences or that experience? How have I become a better person because of this experience? Have I used all of the pain I could? Have I used all of the pain that I could, that's possible from that experience, to grow and let it go now? The key to letting go of your baggage is to begin to ask yourself questions about the purpose that it served in your life. We hold on to pain as a protection, period. And almost all of it is held on for far too long. We get used to holding on to it, and it becomes a part of us. And the story that we tell to others about who we are, and we believe it. Like, we really commit to it. We commit to the role of believing that what makes up our story, a story that cannot be rewritten, is the pain that we carry. It's like our pain is a badge of honor. How many of you have felt that? Like, I'm justified. I've been hurt. I'm not doing that, or don't mess with me because I haven't yet learned from my pain. Well, my friend, it only serves as a badge of honor if you use it and exploit it to be a better version of yourself. That's really it. You can say, you know what? This shit happened to me and I overcame it. That's when it's a badge of honor, not when you use it to prove to people how hurt you are, or how weakened you are, how victimized you are. That is not a badge of honor. That is an excuse. That is ridiculous and self-punishment and self-loathing. I'm not saying I haven't been there and done that, but I have. And you know what? It sucks to carry around this baggage. We're not meant to live on this earth to suffer, y'all. No way. We're meant to seek joy, meaning, purpose, and fulfillment. We're not meant to carry around pain. So now that you know that, you can't unknow it. Now you're going to think about when you have memories of your past, and you're going to think about the fact that you're actually carrying around your pain intentionally, right? Can you now look at your baggage in the same way you did before you listened to this podcast episode? I hope not. If you don't know how to look at your baggage in a way that's helpful, then I strongly suggest that you find someone, a professional, who can help you unload your pain in a way that you can use it and leave it. If you use your pain in the way that it's intended for you to, then you will find tremendous strength within you to overcome the next challenge and the next one and the next. You will gain confidence, certainty, and clarity about your life in a way that you have never experienced it. You will establish healthier boundaries. You will treat your body better. You will treat your mind better. You will regard yourself with more respect. Instead of someone who is weighed down by your emotional pain, you'll become a truth seeker and find that recovering from pain, grief, and disappointment happens with a snap of a finger, rather than decades and decades of dragging that shit with you wherever you go and vomiting it up on all the relationships you have. If you decide to use your emotional pain for your gain, even if you don't do a damn thing intentionally, your baggage will fall off of your shoulder or fall out of your hand, or it will pop open and it will disappear. It will become a non-essential item as you move forward in your life. All you have to do is make the decision to use it and learn it. You don't have to re-experience it. That's the thing. If you commit to yourself that you don't want to blame others for your pain, and that you look and say, okay, well, here's what I know about where they were. And even though I hate what they did, I can understand what happened that they did it. And that's purpose. I can get that. I can let it go. And your journey will feel lighter than ever before. There's nothing more important for you to do than unload the baggage you carry. Yep, shitty things have happened to you, and they've happened to all of us. And we have a choice at any moment to use them to rise above the pain. People who have mistreated us have their own journey towards self-redemption. So put their behavior back in their court and take what belongs to you. And what belongs to you is what you do and what you have chosen to feel about what's happened to you. What you do with, right? That is the only thing that you're responsible for, really. That's it. Be done with anything else but that. Put down the baggage. Once you shift your focus from holding on to anger and pain against anything or anyone outside of you, you have made half the journey. The next half is where you find out how you can stop the unhealthy patterns you've been practicing because of this baggage you've carried. You can rid yourself of fears and anxieties. You can stop codependent behavior and end depression. You can be a better role model for others in your life. You can stop eating yourself alive with food or drinking yourself to death with alcohol because you self-loathe. You could take control of your life when you focus on you only and what you want to accomplish in your life that is beyond the story of pain. If you keep looking back at what has happened in your life, how could you ever see what's right in front of you? How could you ever possibly see what's ahead? And guess what, y'all? Your neck's going to get a real big cramp in it because you keep turning your head backwards. Have faith in yourself, please, that you don't need pain to justify any limitation in your life. Take some damn responsibility for why you don't do things. Stop blaming your past. We teach this to children. Whatever choices you make have logical rewards and logical consequences. Learn that for yourself too. Nothing in your past could ever possibly stop you from achieving what you want. That's all you. That's how you perceive it, how you define it, and how you relate to it and embrace it. Use your pain to justify how you've kicked its ass and not only overcome it, but used the heck out of it to have a better life and help others. I hope this makes sense to you. I hope that you find this useful and realize that, you know what, the time is now to be done with being angry at people for what they've done. That just makes you miserable, and it's not necessary. If you can't forgive the person, forgive yourself for carrying around all the pain up until this point. I wish you a blessed day, a wonderful week, and as always, live intuitively.
Thanks for listening to The Intuitive Therapist. If you like what you heard, the best compliment you can give us is to share this podcast with a friend And be sure to give us some stars and a favorable review at Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen in.